All right, 33. Starting in 33, the slope-intercept form of equation. The first thing you got to find is a slope. So you need a point and a slope. So 2 minus 0, that's y2 over y1, x2 minus x1. 4 plus 7. Remember the y's go on top when you do slope. So that gives you 2 over 11. So now use either one of these points to write your equation. So y minus 2, I'm going to use that point, equals m times x minus 4. So now I got to organize that all up. And the way to organize it up is you say y minus 2 equals 2 elevenths x minus 8 elevenths. So then you have to add 2 to both sides. When you add 2, you need to change that to 22 over 11. 2 is 22 over 11 when you get a common denominator. So that should give you y equals 2 elevenths x plus 14 elevenths. That's what I think my final answer is. I think my final answer is y equals 2 elevenths x plus 14 elevenths. And so when I plug these points in, when I plug a 0 right there, I plug a negative 7 right there, that should give me negative 14 elevenths plus 14 elevenths, and of course that's a 0, so this point works. When I plug a 4 right there, that gives me 8 elevenths. 8 elevenths plus 14 elevenths is 22 elevenths, and that's 2. So indeed, this is the linear equation that both of these points are on. All right, something similar to the next one is you write an equation in y equals a times, it says write an exponential function, so y equals a times b to the x. So what we're going to do is we're going to create two equations with plugging these numbers in. So if I plug that number in, I get y equals, when I plug in a, I'm trying to find a times b to the 0. Well, b to the 0 is 1, and so I find out that a is equal to 2. So a is 2. So now I plug all this stuff in. 18 equals a, which is 2, times b to the 2, x is 2. So I solve this problem, solve that problem. B squared equals 9. So b is 3. So I can plug in a 3. If b squared is 9, then b must be 3. So y equals, a was 2, b was 3 to the x. And so when I plug both of these equations in, or both of these points into y equals 2 times 3 to the x, I should get solutions. Let's see if it's true. So I plug in a 0. That's 2 times 1 is 2. That gives me that number. So now I'm going to plug in a 2. 3 squared is 9 times 2 is 18. So sure enough, there's an exponential function that goes through those 2 points right there. Again, f of x and g of x, just give the coordinates of that point. Looks like to me the coordinates of that point are negative 2, 1. Nice. What are the coordinates of where f of x and g of x are the same? Well, it looks like to me it's negative 2 and then go down to negative 3, this point right here. So all it is the coordinates. Negative 2, 3. That is a question, guys, that you got to get right. That's one that you need to get correct, because all it is asking where those two are equal. And they're equal because one of them's f of x, One of them is g of x, and that's the point where they cross. And write the slope-intercept form of this line, so I know it's going to be y equals, because that's slope-intercept form, m. So I just got to count. Looking here, it goes right to 3 right there. So you go up 1 and over 1, up 1, over 1. Are you still on it? I don't know if you're still on the line right there. So looks like this isn't exactly 1, 1, 1. Up 1 and over 1. Yeah, I believe. Okay. Up 1 over 1, you end up on the line. Up 1 over 1, you end up on the line. Up 1 over 1, I'm back on the line. Up 1 over 1. So the slope is up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. It's pretty close. So I believe that's going to be what our slope is. So our slope is x plus 3. And when I graphed x plus 3, I go through 3 and I have a slope of positive 1. Looks like positive 1 is pretty close. Maybe a little bit more than that, 1.1 or something like that. On a multiple choice, they can't give you both choices. All right, in 39 through the rest of them, I'd really like to go over that and go over those at the beginning, just real quick just to give you an idea. Remember, when it's in parentheses here, this is left. This is left. I know it's plus, but because it's in parentheses right there, this is left 1. This is positive, so it's up 1. And this 4 is a stretch of 4. A stretch of 4. And basically, that's what's happening as we go down through all of these. Remember, a negative is a flip. Flip. That flips it. A shrink of a third. Shrink of 1/3. Minus is in parentheses, so right 1. That one that's in parentheses is the opposite. And then the one that's not in parentheses is down 3. And all you'll have to be able to do is you just have to identify the things that were done to this equation to move it there. Okay, it was moved this direction, so that means if f of x is whatever f of x is in the parentheses, to move it that direction, you go the opposite. So I also put plus 4, and then to move it down 2, I just put a minus 2, and then notice that the whole picture has been flipped, so I just put a negative 1 out in front of it, and that would flip it. And then we'll do the same thing with these. But I want to talk about these right here together, so that we can work through all of them, make sure everybody's got that understands all those together. And then remember the questions after 42 here, we're not responsible for. Again, flipped, this picture, this blue line right here would be flipped. It would move to the right 1 and up 2, and then just been flipped because of the negative. So it would be like that. 1/2, shrink it, so I take the minus 3, just move it down 3, not right or left, and instead of going up 1 and over 1, I go up 1 and over 2. So it gets widened out with the fraction. It gets shrunk. The picture does. 2f makes it move up faster, so twice as fast. That would be 2f of x plus 1 minus 1, left 1, down 1. You only move opposite of something that's in parentheses, and then it would just be the same picture from there. But again, we'll talk about these more before you start the final, because I want it to be fresh on your mind tomorrow. All right? Good luck.